Yes.
You're starting to record now at 9:01.
Okay. Hi, Brooke. Um, okay. Hi. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what's happened to our class. No one responds to, the other students. Um, but we can dive into
I
this.
know in the last 2 weeks, you know what, actually, the interpreter's got to make Brooke's little screen a little bigger before I can interpret better. So yeah, Brooke's saying I mean, there's 2 weeks now left of the semester, and I think it probably means if they've got like midterms or projects to do, I mean, who knows, right? It's so late in the game.
You mean students who are behind feel like they're too far gone? Is that what you're saying?
They have other classes, probably. I mean, is somebody taking 15 credits?
Or I mean, just like sorry, I meant the final exam because there's like 2 weeks left.
Yeah, let me stop my.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak for the other students, but
Right.
yeah,
Well,
I just mean that it's getting so close to the end. Like, if they're not here, who knows? Like, yeah.
no, other students have actually handed in their projects, and they did them, quite a while ago when they were originally due. I've gone in and I've extended the due dates of almost everything, like into next week, just because things are behind. Um,
It might be that they're not set up well enough to do what we're doing, computer wise, or
um,
they can't go to the school, something like that.
they actually can go to the school, like Ed does. Um, the school's really, I think, really made an effort to help. They've given, like Koa is using a laptop the school gave him. Ed goes to either the learning center here or he lives in Lahaina and goes there. And he uses that we have a piano there for him where he can practice, and he has a laptop. The college, anyone who wants to participate could.
They have
Um,
stuff. That's good.
the college has expanded their Wi-Fi on the campus. You can do it from your car now in the parking lot if you wanted, and you can go to the learning center and the student lounge where they have Wi-Fi. You just need to make an appointment, but someone will be there if they know they just don't want to be there if no one's there. Anyways, and I've sent out emails to all the students
No, I saw the
who
one you
missed.
said.
I know the students, maybe they're feeling just like stressed out in general and overwhelmed because isolation can be so stressful and it can deplete your energy. So I wonder if that's how they're feeling.
Yeah, that may be, but anyway, I don't know what more I can do. I've really tried to. Um,
You have for me last week.
no, I'm anyone who wants to Zoom me or reach me, I'm available. So
Okay.
um, do you the college asked me to direct the opening of the course evaluations. Did everyone get that email from the college?
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah. And I filled it out. I sent it back.
Thank you. I had an opportunity that I missed, to add my own questions. I wanted to add ones that specifically dealt with teaching this course online. But we'll see. For the next semester, just in general, I've made recommendations to There's Koa.
This is a course evaluation right here, yeah.
I can't
Says
see it.
CES do not reply to this. Uh,
But
Yeah, I guess
anyway,
it was.
yeah, fill it out. But I want to try and, like, for my piano class, I think we could easily set up the room for distancing. And even for the recording, I'm
Oh,
not sure, and
can you hear me?
guitar. Yeah, hi, Koa. Um, I wanted, actually, Jim, maybe you can help us build it. We'll work out something like some sort of cubicles, in one of the rooms to teach guitar in where there's like dividers.
the school would probably want to buy dividers, wouldn't they?
You know, in the operations and management little area, they have a thing where they're just throwing away tons of these, office cubicle dividers, that you clip together.
Yeah.
They just sit out in the rain. I don't know. There's so many. And there's a place in Wailuku Industrial that sells them. I'm sure they won't buy them used, actually, but
Well,
anyways,
my wife allows me to come down there and do it.
she does what?
My wife allows me to come down and do it. I'll do it.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, so let's talk about what we can do to be most productive. It's,
I have a lot of questions I want to ask. Not a lot, some questions.
okay, we can do that. So, Brooke, you found your Minute Medical Garage project.
Yeah, I did. I already sent it. I submitted it. Yeah, I submitted the assignment.
Like since I emailed you yesterday. Anyways,
I submitted it on the La Lima assignments just this morning. Yeah.
oh, okay, I haven't looked this morning.
Okay.
But yeah, I just really
Sorry, last night we were painting the walls, so that's why I couldn't send it last night.
Oh, okay. But anyway, what was I saying? So, just anything I can do to get you to submit these things. I have opened up the Dropbox tool on Laulima, which is kind of their 24/7 with no limitations to what you can put there. Um, it's just as we approach the end of semester, it's getting a little chaotic, because I've extended all the due dates. But I just don't want to get snowed, the last week, because I really I have 30 term papers to read for my online class, and it's really a lot. So try and get your stuff in, and if there's anything we can do, I think I want to see your mastering project. In a sense, I'm more interested in seeing the Garageband mastering than a WAV or MP3, and I'm going to change that in the syllabus.
Okay.
It allows me to see what I'm looking at is your setting in the limiter, which is very important. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't spent a lot of time on that in the class. Um,
So don't send the MP3
I don't,
or
I'd rather see, like what you're doing is you have a GarageBand project, you do the share button, and you save it as a WAV file, and then you import the WAV file into a new project. And so that's kind of the long way to do it. And it gives you a little more flexibility in trimming the beginning and the ending and doing a fade. But in a GarageBand project, if you call up the master track, you can essentially put those same plugins on the master track and do it all in the same project. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see it
So,
again?
say it again.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Um, I just happen to have the, I'll show you what I mean here. Let me get a share going. Give me a second. So like I have brown-eyed girl here. Do you all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, this isn't anywhere near done, but if we're just playing it. If you do under track, show master track, you get, can you see it on the bottom of the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know, I can't lift this up anymore.
Yeah, it's there.
But if I show the master track and then I go to, my plugin settings for the master track, why am I not seeing it? Darn it,
Click on the ring.
thought I did. Oh, there it is. Darn it.
That just covered up the master track.
Okay. So I'm clicking on output and it defaults to all these plugins. They think you want to go through an EQ, a compressor, exciter, another compressor, limiter. I don't know what's with all that. But anyway, can you see what I'm doing here? I'm deleting the plugins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make this a little bigger. Does that get bigger?
Yeah, I just got rid of your master track at the bottom.
Well, you're seeing my plugins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just blowing it up here. So what you can do is essentially, add the plugins you would use, like channel EQ, if you want to just redo it. Here, you can do another chance to do sorry, I lost my Apple.
Compressor.
You can use your multiband and follow it with your audio units, Apple, AU peak limiter. So these are the plugins I would use on the master. So this is, you understand, this is essentially the same thing you're doing, when you bring it into a separate project.
You mean like the bounce?
Yeah, so instead of sharing it and then importing that into a new project where you just have one track,
Oh, okay.
and then adding these plugins, EQ, multiband, peak limiter, set your mastering level. You can trim the beginning and the ending. You can add a fade. This is what we've been doing. But you can do it all in one. If you do this, you just lose a little flexibility and ease if you need to do a fade or trim, just a little trickier.
How do you do it then?
How do I do what?
We'll put all of that into the master track.
I just did.
Oh.
Should I do it again?
No. It's okay.
Yeah. Let me save this. I'll do it on one. This one's not really done, but let's say I open. Darn it. I closed this thing. Anyway, how do I say this? Instead, you know, let's just keep going, and I'll show you when we get to it in a project today, okay?
Okay.
Unless I,
Okay.
sorry, I don't want to leave you hanging either. I just can't find a regular project.
Can I ask you these questions while you're messing
y-
around?
um, Give me 1 second. April. One second. Come on. I'm getting a spinning wheel on my computer. Sorry. Darn. My Garageband is just hung here. There we go. Disk is too slow. I'm sorry about this. I can't get out of this Garageband. I'm gonna have to force quit it. Let me open a voice.
Joel, can you open GarageBand for us, please, so we can see it?
Yeah, I can't. It's hung here.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't realize.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Think I have. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my computer.
No worries.
Okay. I'm just going to share my desktop so you see it. See, it's just spinning, loading.
Wow.
My computer got a little bit messed up last night. I was uploading a big video from my piano class to YouTube, and it just really is, somehow seems to take a toll on things. Darn. Anyway, maybe I'll restart my GarageBand. Jim, what was your question?
You know, when you do the scissors thing and the graph shows up at the bottom of the track?
So using the split regions tool when you have the edit window open at the bottom. I'm gonna force quit my GarageBand. Something's not
Yeah.
good.
So when you do that on my computer, out of nowhere, it goes from the 2-inch graph down to an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch. And I can't seem to get that graph back. Do you know how to get it back?
When you say graph, I'm not sure what you mean. You mean a waveform?
I guess a waveform to you.
Okay. It's to me, yeah.
Okay. What it
You,
means.
you can't get it back?
Yeah, it goes. I should have taken a picture of it. It goes to real small, almost just a line, and then you try to expand it to get it back to where it was, and you take the slider over there, but it really doesn't do anything. And when I was working on all these projects in the last 3 or 4 days, it was happening more and more. So I don't know if there's a way to get it back.
Um, I'm sure there is. I'm
Yeah.
not,
Most all this stuff is just pushing a
you
button.
know, you can resize the portion of the window that's the editor. Is that what you're saying?
It's not the window. See, well, it's gone now.
Yeah, I'm going to open a simple one like the voice. There we go. A simple restart of Garageband. So I think this is what you're saying. Like if you take Anastasia's track and open it in the editor, it's down here.
Okay,
You
see,
can make this bigger, by dragging it, right?
no, I didn't know that. But then it covers up the rest of
But I'm just saying, if you want to see it bigger to do detailed
it.
work on it, you hover your mouse in between on the border of the two windows and you get this, I don't know what you call it, a window size tool.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Can you take your slider down there on the top right hand? I mean, not the on the waveform down below, the slider on the one underneath Kate.
Like that?
No, you're not. Well, I can't. There's a sizing
This.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not doing what I. So what happens to my computer is this. Okay, the waveform that you see now goes down to about a quarter of an inch, and no matter what button I try to fader, I can't get it bigger than that. Like from
Like that, you mean?
well, it goes. You see Pat or any of these things. Look at Pad audio right there. Don't check it. Just look at it.
I see it.
Okay, so the waveform at the bottom, out of nowhere, looks like that. It just appears that way, at least on my computer, and I don't know how to get it back to where it looks like this waveform.
Oh. Excuse me. I don't know. I've never seen that happen. Um,
Okay, when I'm working on all right now, if it happens, I know you don't want to. I'll send you a picture of it. I know you don't want a picture of it. You want it done some other way, but that's the other way I know how to send it to you.
Can Jim share his screen?
Well, it's
yeah.
not doing it right. It's not doing it right now. Me and Joe's had
Oh,
many
Uh,
conversations this week.
I've never seen that. Um, I know in other like Digital Performer. Oh, big Ed's here. Um, in Digital Performer, you can resize the waveform vertically without changing the gain. It's just a graphic thing.
So, well,
I don't
if
know how to do that in GarageBand.
if it happens to me again, I'll call you and show you what I'm talking about. So anyway, on there's a couple of, there's a few questions I want to ask. You know, the snap grid that sometimes you talk about.
Yeah,
Should that be on all the time, or should it be off?
depends what you want to do. If
In
you
a
want to snap to the like if you're going to take like in Brown Eyed Girl,
okay,
where we want to take the last two measures of your intro, where it does, um, you know, da 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 da. So like two measures.
uh-huh.
Um, let me. Then you would definitely want to snap to grid. You would want to make sure your selection was exactly two measures from there. That way you can put it, because the song is in time to a drum beat, you know that if you take that from the beginning and put it anywhere else, it's going to be at the correct tempo.
Okay, let me revise my question. If that's checked on, snap to grid is checked on because it's the bottom one, would that screw up anything else we were doing?
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
Sorry, let me mute that.
For example, like in All Right Now, there's a tempo to it. I probably defaults to 120, but the tempo is irrelevant because it was never played to a click. So when you're editing the bass, you definitely don't want to be constrained to the grid.
Okay.
You want to be able to, like the way I did it is I looked at the waveform and I could see where that first note of the phrase was being played. Like Barney's, the timing was correct. There was just a lot of sloppiness and bad notes.
Okay.
So I used that as a guide rather than the grid of the song.
Okay. The other one more question. Well, I have a lot, but anyway, this one on the All Right Now, the tracks are in an MP3 form that you put up. You sent us, right?
I've put all the tracks in all of our projects are saved as MP3s,
Okay.
just
Some
because it
yeah.
makes them a tenth of the size to deal with.
For some reason, I was having a hard time duplicating a track because, like, the thing I sent you, I wanted to duplicate the bass track because I didn't want to lose what we did last week.
Right.
And I couldn't get it duplicated. And I went by your instructions and I went online to see what I was doing wrong. And I was doing it exactly right, but there was no way I could duplicate that track. I mean, it's not that difficult to begin with. And,
I'm sure that's user error. I mean, that's pretty consistent. Do you want me to?
okay, yeah. So you go to a track go to Missy's track or the bass track on All Right Now. Maybe it's my computer. I don't know.
It's not your computer. Okay, let me. I'll share my desktop here. So
A second, I gotta write this down.
I'm just going to close. No, I'm not going to save it. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me go back a second. Koa, I opened this to show you this. Sorry about that. I get a little just sidetracked. So here we are. I'm on. Come on and play.
Me. Well, I can't let it go.
So say this is my mix. Say it's done, okay? Everything, I really like it. Everything's great. What I'm going to do is under track, I'm going to show master track. And it shows up here as default for some reason. And now I'm going to open this, open up my plugin settings. I've got a channel EQ, AU multiband, and I'm going to add the Apple peak limiter. So these are the three basic plugins you should be using. Let me shut that off for now. So I'm going to look at my channel EQ. And so this is basically the track you would be looking at if you were mastering it in a new project. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would essentially be just this.
You guys see a track under default? I don't see anything.
There's nothing there. It's like the master fader on a mixing board. There's no sound. It's not a waveform. It's just a plug-in track. Think of it's like an auxiliary track that you're sending everything to, but there's no actual waveform content in it. But if I play the project, you'll see it has a master fader for the whole thing.
So you're just adding the EQ and the limiter and
Yeah,
stuff by
it's like
sound.
putting inserts on your master fader on your mixing board. So you can go in here and you can, I don't know why that's doing.
there for a reason. So listen, don't be blind, and
So you can,
don't
do your EQ if you want. I don't want a high pass. I don't know why that's there. Say I wanted a little a high end.
Okay,
You can check your multi-band.
all I can think to do
I'm going to use all 4 bands. So you'd make an adjustment on this like you would in mastering, okay? I'm working. Say this is the settings I like. Good to go. Now go to your peak limiter. Here you're going to use your pre-gain to set the level. We're going to really watch for our gain reduction. They call it limiting amount here. And you're going to keep it nice, fast attack time. I'd keep a fast release as well. And here you're going to, oops, I got to turn it on,
somehow. I just need to learn to be quiet and let them tell of the love that supplies.
sorry. So this is my mastering setting, say. And now I share this and I'm done. That's what I'm saying, Koa.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. I just sent the voice.
can you hear me, Joel?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure my mic. So let me ask you, since you got that up, that pre-gain on that limiter, that dial pre-gain, would
Yeah.
that accomplish what, by using that and turning that up, would that accomplish what I'm trying on the backup vocals on All Right Now? Well, I was talking about overloading the.
Yeah, it would. I think like usually audio software has, are you seeing my GarageBand now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think on Pad Audio, if you go to some of these plugins, let me look at Apple. Sometimes there's one that'll simply say level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, I never use it. But you could use the peak limiter to boost it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. Oh, here you go. Utility gain. Yeah, here you can just add a separate gain control, which would be before the fader. So if I want, I'm soloing my pad. If I boost the gain, I'm distorting it now, but so you could insert that, Jim.
Okay. Koa.
Okay.
The reason I asked that is on the backup vocals, I wanted to bring up louder, so when I did the overall mix, they wouldn't be distorted because they're real quiet.
Hmm.
So I needed to bring the gain up on each one of those tracks, if I possibly could, before I mixed the whole band, so I'd have some volume without them going all the way over to the red. And that's how you do it. So anyway, you can do a track right there. I've just duplicate mix
Oh,
reference. Whatever you want to duplicate.
so here I've got my bass track, right?
Yep.
Let me and you see it there.
Okay, you highlight it with the yellow line.
Well, all you have to do is select it first. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's on. And then if you like your settings like EQ, under track, you do new track with duplicate settings.
Mhm.
Shortcut is Command D.
That's right. That's exactly what I did.
So here I have a new track now with duplicate settings underneath it. If you want to rename it, you can do base number
Okay.
2,
How
say.
do I get the track down there?
So now what you want to make sure you do
Is take
is
it back to 0.
you want it from the beginning of the region you want to copy.
Okay.
This one happens to start at 0. If it started somewhere else,
Right. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
you will want to put it there. So now highlight the track. I clicked on it, edit, copy, highlight the destination track, edit, paste, and you got a copy of it.
I wasn't getting that. So you click onto it, you go to duplicate track, and then you go copy and paste.
Yep.
Okay.
If you do that, it'll work.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing. Yeah, okay, I know what I was doing wrong. Because like to me, like we're editing, especially to me, maybe not to all you other guys, but to me, I can screw something up in the blink of an eye. And so if you have duplicate tracks, you have something to fall back to, because I had a hard time there's an undo button, but I end up restarting GarageBand most of the time and coming back to it.
Well,
That's another way you can do it. I mean, point being is that you should always really back up a lot of, especially like the bass track and All Right Now that we worked on all last week. They have the 6 things. You don't want to lose that. It was too much work. So like, I wanted to duplicate that bass track 3 times just to have it there, because I always get rid of it.
yeah, I mean, and you can just do a save as. Like there's times when I'm working on a project, like if you how do I say it? Let's say you were working on the bass track to All Right Now yesterday and you were doing pretty good, and then you worked on it today and you did something that was disastrous, and all of a sudden all your work was just out of sync. You can go back to, but let me go on. But let's say you had done other work as well today that you didn't want to lose. You can go back to a different project, copy the track that was good up to that point, close the project, open the new one, and paste it in. So you can move a track between projects in that way. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I do that. I've done that at times when I've made something that's would take a lot of work to try and figure out, and I have something that's pretty close in another project. So there's other workarounds, but yeah, I wouldn't do it on everything, and it depends what you're doing. I think you only if you're doing something that potentially can put something seriously out of sync, I would do it.
But it does, I mean, the tracks are unlimited basically in GarageBand. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it takes 10 seconds to duplicate a track. Like the one I did, I forgot all our projects, but it had.
But the thing is, like if you, let's say you make a mistake and you delete something, it's really easy to recover deleted areas in a track,
Yeah, go undelete.
just by, you can edge edit them back, and then you could do undo, but if you highlight them, you can just do a join regions and they'll come back together too.
Okay. So when we were doing that medical, what do you call it? The duck,
Yeah.
okay. What does it mean, when you're doing the fade lines or whatever you want to call them, and they're all dotted?
The dots are,
You know, you try to be surgically with your mouse as good as you can, and all these dots show up when you're trying to bring that bar down. You follow what I'm saying?
yeah. I think, Brooke, do you mind if I play your Minute Medical?
Sure, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, I'm just, so Brooke, you know, you see Brooke's control points here, right?
I don't see anything but your face.
Oh, sorry. Forgot to share.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
see this.
no, we don't see it yet.
Okay. Sorry. Forgot to do that. I have this weird graphic thing sitting there. But so this is where Brooke ducked her track, right?
Right.
So this is all of the control, these are called control points, okay?
Yeah.
And you know, if you wanted to, I don't know, have a more complex fade, you know, like that, where it went
And
down.
that's I'm not talking about that. When you're trying to do that, maybe not this. You get the first control point, the top one,
Yeah.
and you start bringing it down. All of a sudden, it looks like a machine gun.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. Let me just.
I don't want to do it. I'm just wondering why it does that, or how you keep from doing it.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, I never knew that. Um, using the command, I just see how it works now. Using the command key next to your space bar.
Yeah. You hold
Like
that
if
down.
you hold it down, you get the pencil tool,
Right.
and it enables you to place a control point anywhere you want. Okay.
Oh,
Mhm.
cool.
If you continue to hold the command key while you move the pencil tool, it will write more complex curves.
Okay, so you just have to remember to let go of the command key.
Yeah, so I never knew that. That's pretty cool.
How
Yeah.
does it sound?
How would it sound?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's hard to use
Yeah.
that because with the mouse at the same time.
Why?
Oh, because touchpad or on the laptop.
Yeah, because if you're holding the command key at the same time as you're using the mouse, you can't use the mouse because you've already got several fingers used. It's just easier to just do it the normal way.
Yeah, the touchpad makes it hard to get it in the right place.
Oh, okay. I, yeah, I'm on a desktop. Okay, I can see that.
I could definitely see that.
Well, get yourself a wireless mouse or something if you really want to do that. But anyway, but what were you saying, Koa?
Okay.
How would it sound?
Yeah. Can you play it?
I mean, with that kind of automation,
Yeah.
the track's gonna just get louder and softer. Okay.
Okay. If we have some time, I want to go over how everybody else is do a fade. Exactly the right way to do a fade. But you don't have to do it right now. If you have time in 3 hours or what's left of the class today.
I'm not sure what's hard about the fade. I mean,
I'm just I want it. I'm writing. If you show it, I'm writing this down when you're showing it in your recording, so I can go back to it
okay.
and see it in the recording. Because your videos help me more than anything else in the world.
Okay.
Just a simple one. It is.
We'll just make a note of the time.
I am.
So, I mean, let's say I want to fade this, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so when you do a fade, begin by adding a point you're coming from,
Anywhere.
anywhere where you want the fade to begin.
Okay.
And, then you add a point, where you want it to end. And then you can just drag it down. So
Okay.
that's,
Well, you added the control point by doing it how again?
I'm holding the command key.
You hold the command key and you just let go of it where you want the point.
I hold the command key down and I click, it turns into a pencil.
That's correct. And then
Right.
you put the point on the yellow line.
Yeah.
But to get the yellow line, you had to push something else, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. In order to see automation, you have to click Show Automation
Under mix.
under Mix,
So,
or Command. If you just do Command A, it's the shortcut.
okay, so you do Command A,
I
the
take,
yellow line shows up, show automation,
oh, it's just an A. Yeah,
and then you put the points by holding the command thing down. And then you do the other one. When you put the other point on it and drag it down, it's going to show you where it is. Okay, thanks.
so that's a simple one, but you can do, I don't always, this would be a linear, I would call it.
Yeah.
But let's say you wanted it to, be a little more gradual and then go steeply from there, so you can get more complex fades or, get it to here and then abruptly go down. So anyway, you can use your control points, but, now that I know how this thing works too, I'm
But if
gonna,
you're doing at the end of a song at the bottom control point, let's see how that sounds.
it'll sound pretty smooth.
Oh,
So anyway, that's how to do it.
Okay, so at the end of a song, generally speaking, in general, the second control point would be at the bottom of the track.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you do this? Let's say I mastered a track, which it looks like that one is. At the end, it's mastered.
It's actually not, but
Okay, but let's say,
I take that back. Brooke, I take it back. Brooke has done this. She did master it. It's very good what she did. She used the EQ, the multiband, and then the peak limiter. So yeah, she's
but
mastered
I'm
right
saying
here.
that when you have that track that's complete, the master track, can you fade that?
Yes. Yeah. So I have this thing here is just a graphic glitch. Try to ignore it, okay? Um,
So like I send you a master, to me, what I just
so
sent you is a master, and then I sent you one with all the tracks on it. So
right.
when you're mastering, you have the waveform and then the master track underneath. So the
Yes.
waveform above it, could you fade that?
You, yeah, I think I understand what you're asking. Like in Brooks' project, we can do the fade on the track, which is the mix, or you could also do the fade on the master track.
Even though you couldn't see it.
You do see it.
We don't see the waveform on the master track.
No, there's no waveform on the master track because it's an auxiliary, it's a master bus. But if you,
But you could hear it, I guess, yeah.
yes, you will hear the master track. It's like the master fader.
No, I understand what you're saying. You're just guessing. Well, not really. Yeah, okay, I know what you're saying.
I'm not guessing, it's
No,
identical
it's
to doing
at the
it
top.
on this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're just, yeah. I get it. Okay, I just want to make sure we could you could fade out the whole song. You could figure out a way of fading out the whole song completed if you wanted to on a project.
Yeah, and even if you're mixing the whole thing in the box like we were doing, where we pulled up a master track with mastering plugins, you can do your fade on the master track without having to do individual fades on 12
Right.
individual tracks.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. And then, we did that like on The Voice, I did that. Um, I wanted a faster fade on the bass track and the pad, which were hanging on, much longer than other tracks. So I did those individually, and then I think you could do a fade on the master fader. Okay.
Yep.
Ed, are you there? Can you hear us? I see him here, but I don't know.
I'm here. I'm here. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I had my
Good.
hands.
Are you in Lahaina on the campus?
Yep.
Very good. So I think for right now, we're just kind of answering some questions about details where you're, on things. Anything else?
No. Just go ahead and move along to where you want to be.
I
I think we need to work with All Right Now to see which, unless you don't want to work with it.
I will. I don't know. I'm not sure how far along I am with my version.
My girl's going to be some work, and it's the last week of the class.
Yeah, well, we have one more class after today.
I mean, with All Right Now, you're not really asking us to do that much to it. So
The only thing you have to do in All Right Now, I mean, you all got my note. I'm sorry. The assignment itself wasn't visible the way I did it. I didn't I had it the wrong year. I left it at 2019. Yeah, this is an empty one. I have another. Um, yeah, I haven't really done, I don't know where my version is that I might have worked on. Does anyone need help with All Right Now? I thought people were doing pretty well with it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need, yeah.
Yeah. Koa, Ed, are you guys all right with it?
I haven't started on All Right Now.
Okay, where are you, Ed?
I haven't started on that yet. I'm still on the funky music, and I couldn't get the audio working yesterday, and today it's working. So I don't know what I did. I had no audio when I was trying to master it yesterday, and for some reason it's working today though. It must be something I set, or when the computer went off, rebooted, it reset something in GarageBand maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, look for the system volume,
I did. I had the system. So like on the system volume, you're talking about the slide on the right next to the speaker?
No, on your keyboard, the speaker icon.
Yeah, I had that all the way up on top of it. Everything was, it showed it playing. I had it in a loop and everything. And
Oh,
you can forget that email if you get that about my audio not working, because it's working now.
okay. So, I want to try and do something that's going to be helpful to the most people. Some of you are fine with All Right Now. I thought I had. Looking through mine. Oh, here we go. I've done a bit of work here. Is there anything you want to go over with it? I guess, oh, here we go. We were looking into looping the keys, right?
No, if you look at, I mean, here's what the main thing I like to do on the tracks you submit to is the one I told you about, Missy's track. Do you have can you print my email out I sent you?
Can I print it out?
Maybe I can. Yeah, I sent you an email with the suggestions that I thought the class would really get into that I think you could do in 30 minutes. So, but
okay, I'm opening my email.
okay, if you just look at Missy's track, I've got the measure numbers down on it, and it says like section 1, you take like where she's singing all right now.
Where location?
It's on the email, but it's right around 34. No, 34 3.
Why is it snapping there?
Because to make the I don't know how you want to make it. To make the song work, her harmony has to be there. The 3-part her harmony, high harmony, has to be there. But I destroy the second part. You need to taste that on the second part. That.
Oh, so you're saying you're drowning her out?
Yes. And her part to me is so critical to the 3-part harmony that if you take the first section of, I'm saying the first section, all right now.
Yeah.
And
So let's
delete the second half and paste the first half over the second half. Then you have a new
so I'm
section.
going to solo her with Joette. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why is this snapping to that? Darn it. Okay, that's why. Gosh darn you, why are you doing this? I don't know why. This is so strange. I don't know why it's doing that.
I believe it's a cowbell in it.
No, when I press play, it snaps to 41, and I want to play it at 33.
Okay.
I don't know why it's doing it.
All right now, baby, it's all right now.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm listening to Joette for timing.
Okay.
So I can see Missy begins right at this waveform there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to zoom in a little more. I'm going to split this. Edit. Split regions at Playhead. Oops. Try that again. Okay. Let's see where it ends.
All right now, baby, it's all right
She's just starting to sing all right there. I'm going to split the regions. I'm going to highlight the part one, the part we want. So this is tricky because, you know, we can listen to the drums too because there's so much leakage on that. But we're going to use some of these references to get this in the right place. So this is highlighted, right? I'm going to copy it. Command C. Actually, I'll do it up here. Let me copy it. I got my wiper right there, so that's where the paste is going to go. I'm going to do a paste. Let me zoom out to make sure this looks right. Yes, it looks like, so this isn't going to be quite right, but we're going to kick it around so it's close. And hopefully we can make this work.
All right now. All right now.
So Missy's a little behind. Do you all hear that? I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Listen to it. You'll hear Missy's voice is a little bit behind Joette.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now.
Okay. So let's, I'm going to zoom in a little more and I'm going to move the waveform just a little bit and listen. I'm going to click back.
All right now.
I don't know why it snaps back.
All right now. All right.
Now I made her too early. I got to split the difference. It's just a little bit. So I'm in the waveform. I'm going to push my mouse down and just nudge it a tiny bit. Oh, I see. I have this region. I'm going to move it to here. So
All right now.
she's a little too early. So this, you know, I'm just going to be tweaking it around.
Well, it's a live thing.
All right now, baby, it's all.
Yeah, she's a little.
All right now, baby, it's all.
Oops, I got to undo. Sorry. I lose track of where I am. Bear with me. Oops.
All right now.
I thought I messed up the first one.
All right now. All right.
Actually, she's a little out of time on the first one, too.
Right now.
But I just have to move her ahead a fraction. I'm gonna really zoom. I just pulled it a hair.
Baby, it's all right
Oop.
now.
So it takes a lot of tweaking to get this.
All right now. All right now.
She's a little early.
Yeah, but you're not going to have Joette that loud.
I'm soloing them.
Yeah.
Baby, it's all
She's still a little early. I'm really zoomed.
right now.
Darn it. This is hard.
All right now, baby.
I'm sorry. I'm moving the wrong one. Sorry about this.
Now, baby.
It's right now. I got to make sure I'm highlighting the right one. I'm so zoomed in. Let me just check. All right, I'm on the right one now.
It's all right now. All right now.
So she's just a hair early. I'm just
Baby, it's all right
a hair early.
now.
I'm so close now.
Now, baby, it's all right now.
Hair early still. Just I'm going to keep tweaking it.
Right now, baby, to all.
So that's pretty good, right? Does everyone agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's how to do it.
And then you drag back Missy's highlighted track to cover that one black space, right?
What black space?
The black space is in the high,
Oh, this?
yeah.
Um, not really. There's nothing there.
Okay, here, you're going to answer a question, my earlier question. See, okay, you see the waveform in the big section below, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you get that bigger to go back to where it was?
I want to do a save here.
Okay,
5-1. I just gotta keep track of this. For some reason, this is in WAV files now, but it's going to be really big. Hang on, it's almost done. Okay.
okay, see the waveform in the highlight, that section right there where your arrow is.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you get it back to where it's big?
I don't think you can. I don't know what you did. I mean, you can change the height of the edit
No.
window,
Okay,
but I can't make this look like that. The waveform is reflecting the level that it was recorded at.
you see the point I'm trying to make though, right?
You just want it to look bigger, but not sound louder.
Just want it to look like it looks like on every other screen, so I can
Well,
see. I can see what I'm doing.
you just have to expand the window. You can't make, I don't believe there's a way to
Go back to where.
not go back to where it was, because it was never bigger than it is.
Okay, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
You're saying you want to see the waveform.
Like if you put Jim's vocal, if you do my vocal right now,
Yeah.
and you'd see the waveform go up and down about 2 inches.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like if we look at yours, you're going to be
like
big.
that. So we can't make Missy's track look like that.
I'd have to look it up on the internet or something.
Okay, that's the question I was
I
like.
know. No, I knew what you were asking, and I said earlier that, like in Digital Performer, they have a little control where you can just slide it up, and it makes the waveform.
No, I understand why it's that way now because it's not recorded loud enough. Okay, so now that we fixed that, so that section that we just fixed, you could use that section on the rest of the song, starting from the 1. Okay.
Yeah. Why is there another section we need it?
Well, every time. No, it's only one other time, so it's really only one other time. It's the next section that I'd paste in. But that's not. I thought would be another thing that would be interesting to show everybody that you could do that we haven't done yet. There's, the cowbell, which to me is real important in the song, but there's one section in there's a cowbell section at 41.4 to 43. So it's really short.
We're right there.
Okay. So if take that section starting at the 1 and use it all the way through the song, how would you paste that, copy that, and paste that all the way through the song? It's
I've done that. Like I said, it's extremely tedious if we had a click
Click
track,
it wouldn't
then
be
it
right.
would be, this is a time that you would highlight the, snap it to a grid of one or two measures of whatever you had.
Okay.
But in this case, I don't know how much tempo drift there is,
Yeah,
at the
I understand
beginning.
that. But if you had a quick track, it would be fairly simple, huh?
Very simple. But
Yeah.
without that, I would,
Yeah, I understand what you. Okay.
I'm not going to do this, but if you want to do this, I encourage you. It'll be, I would, let me,
Let's see.
so we have like two measures of this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fades out on the bottom of the.
And
Use
then,
this first measure. Just use one measure.
well, it makes it a lot harder. You
Okay.
have to do twice as much. Um, so this is what I would do. So this is the beginning of the next measure. Let me zoom in even a little more. Let me get this right. I'm gonna grab this area. I've got my crosshair tool. I'm gonna copy it just before that. I want to zoom in even more. Yeah, I'm good. I'm right before it. I'm going to copy this.
But you'd have to take this section that you copied and put it on another track, right?
Okay, let's
To
do
be
that.
able to be able to do it through a whole
No,
song.
you're right. So let's put my wiper here. I'm right at the beginning. Oops, let me go back. Shoot. Why is that there? Oh, I lost my selection. Sorry. That's just where. Sorry, I have to listen to this one more time. I'm going to do this easier. I'm going to split it while I'm here. This is real tedious, so I hope I'm not boring you. Oh, but
Just something different that we learned.
so I'm going to split it manually like this. I want to come right before the 1 of the third measure. We're going to do another split. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight my cowbell area. Actually, I should have done the first one last. Okay, I'm right at the beginning of it. So here we go. I'm selecting the Missy track. I'm going to do duplicate track, a track with duplicate settings, but I actually just could have done a new track. In fact, I'll do that because I don't know if I had EQs. So this we're going to do with waveforms. So let's zoom in here. Sorry. Good. This is the beginning of the cowbell area. Let me just highlight that little region. Okay. I'm going to copy that. This is my new track. In fact, I'll name it Cowbell, CB. I copied that. Go to key. I'm not liking the way my wiper looks. I don't know if I'm right at, oh no, I'm good. I'm right at, there's a little sliver of sound there. So I've copied that, right? A little tedious. Go to our cowbell track, Command V. So now we have a cowbell track. Eventually I would probably mute that or delete it. But so
Okay.
so now what I would do is you got to line it up with something that's in time.
Okay.
What's in time here, you think?
That would be the drums, I guess.
Yeah, I'd go to the kick drum track. I would put the cowbell track next to the kick drum track just to see it better and match it up. The kick is pretty small too, but let's turn that on. I'm not going to do the whole song, okay? But if let's get to her. It's a pickup, isn't it? Right there. Right? That's the first kick drum?
Yep.
I do a paste, Command V. Let me go back. Oop, let me turn on the cowbell. That's the
Pretty
next
good.
one.
So then if you wanted to highlight that, you just copy and paste that all the way through and see if
Yeah,
it
but
works.
you got to do it like this. I would line it up with each kick one so it gets re-triggered.
Yeah, like
Next kick. Right there. Tedious, but anyway, you get what to do. Command V. Oops.
okay, so then one other thing that you just
I missed
reminded,
one, but anyway.
if you wanted to get at, there's no sense for any of us to put the first part of the song on. So if you wanted to come in and start the song right the first kick drum or the first snare hit or whatever he does, and delete everything on all tracks before that, how would you do that? Because the whole me screaming it, hey, party, party, party is ridiculous. It just needs to come in right at the beginning of the kick drum. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Well, you could do it in mastering. That's the easy way.
The mastering, you just take the whole
Yeah.
track.
Come on!
I don't know if you want the come on.
This place out! Come on!
Well, right the snare drum, I think.
We
You
thank you
delete
guys very, very much.
my
Come on,
voice.
you. Let's rock this place out! Come on!
I
Right
like
that.
that intro.
Well, you can say that too, I guess. But I mean,
But I would do this in mastering, frankly. It would be so easy. But
yeah, I can see that. You're right.
but if you for some reason you wanted to do something, I would just highlight a track. You just have to do the Command T a bunch. I'm not sure you can select. Oh, let's just do Command A. This is the easy way.
As long as you have the snare drum in the right place, and the kick drum, you don't want to delete it.
See what I'm doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could do this. And now you're left with But I would do this in mastering.
This is my song to you. Let's rock this place out. Come on.
Yeah, there's no point in doing this in,
Where it is now.
yeah. But the other thing, you know, when you export songs in GarageBand, this is a little hard to do.
But then you'd have to drag everything down that you've got now down to one, right?
Yes and no. I mean, you can use the feature where, you know, um, you you highlight the timeline, and then when you share it, um, if you select export cycle area or length selected in regions, it's only gonna export what's highlighted in yellow. But it's way more precise to do it in a mastering window.
Okay.
That way you can get it down to the millisecond of what you want. And it's super easy to do. So I would do it. That's why people do mastering.
Okay, well, I
Make
can see
sense?
your point. I'm sorry if I'm taking everybody else's time, but I think this is a really cool thing that things know if you're a recording engineer.
Yep.
This is good.
Okay. No, this is really kind of advanced details, but anyway, yeah, but you get the point of, if you had a rhythmic part, you want to, like, we could continue to do the cowbell like we did.
I mean, it's just like last week we were talking about Joette's keyboard that you brought up. If you fix that where it was the chords are in time, like we were talking about, you could do that all the way through the song. Probably, you could do it definitely if you had a click track all the way through the song. It's just this is a live recording, so you don't have a click track. It makes it a little more difficult. But you can tell the point I'm being is you can take the smallest instrument that you have 2 bars of and say, hey, that really sounds cool, and make a new track with that section and use it all through the song that's off your new track. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, but you know, when we looked at this last week, you know, Joette is playing the part differently at the
Right.
end than the chorus, right? You know, it's
Yeah,
going, baby, it's all right now. Whereas in the song, it's going, it's half the time.
Yeah, no, I know you're right. I'm just, like I said, the point being is that you can find some part of the song and go, that's really cool. Let's use it all the way through the song and cut and put it on another track and mix it in wherever you want to.
Yeah, but last week I took the part that Joette did that was double time, and I grabbed each chord and I made it half time. So, I mean, you know, it just gets down to this tedious editing.
Can you do me one big favor though? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. Whatever we just fixed right now, can you send me these tracks so I have these tracks on the ones I'm working on?
That's cheating. Why would I do that?
Just to make it more pliable, just to make things more better to hear when I'm mixing.
It's tricking you.
What do you want me to send you? The whole project or the track?
No, it's just what we, like you sent me that we've got a set of tracks to work with right now, right? In GarageBand. Just like we have a set of tracks just like this, but it doesn't have Missy's voice fixed that you just Mixie's thing just fixed, and it doesn't have the cowbell in it.
Right.
So I was saying, send those to me that we just fixed now. Well, no, because I would have to take Missy's voice and paste it down the line. And the cowbell, we didn't do it all the way through anyway, so it's not really cheating. It's halfway cheating, I guess. It really doesn't matter for what you want in this assignment. It doesn't matter. It's just I'm trying to fix this to where I enjoyed it a little bit more than I'm enjoying it now.
I encourage you to do it. It's really a great project to practice this kind of
It is
stuff.
a very good project.
But you know, half of the key to making stuff like this work is making the right selection from the beginning.
That yes, I definitely see that.
Okay? Like in Brown Eyed Girl, it was, we haven't moved to that yet, but selecting the right chords, two guitar chords to lead us into the middle breakdown is crucial, that you pick the right ones. If you have the right ones, the rest is a lot easier.
No, it just from my perspective, it being a recording engineer, there's a lot of things you could do with All Right Now to make that really sound good. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work, and that's what the point I was.
Okay.
So never mind.
I thought the things that I just did were a little advanced for this course. Maybe not. I don't know.
But they're down on a video. You're taking a video so you can go back to them and work at your own speed.
Yeah.
And that's really good, I think, to have, even though maybe a little advanced, you can go back to it and say, hey, here it
But
is.
anyway, the point of this is if, you know, if you want to do these kinds of pace, you have a part in one section and you need it in others and you're not and you're not recorded to a grid, you need to make your selection from a place that makes sense in time, like right before the one on the cowbell. And then you want to link it up into something else that's in time that's really critical. In this case, we've got the kick drum, which is really pretty easy. And if you just paste it in right before the kick drum beats, use that as a reference, you should be good. I mean, you know, there's a lot of measures in the song.
No,
Anyway.
it's pretty cool. I mean, you showed how, like I said, Joe, you make these videos, which are great, and you can always go back to them and work at your own speed.
Okay.
So let's
Moving
move
on.
Brown Girl.
Anything anyone wants to bring up or do?
Yeah.
No.
Can you check the voice?
You want me to open it up, Koa?
Yeah, I put it in my Dropbox.
All right. Is that okay if we do that, everyone?
Wonderful.
All
Anything
right.
we do.
That's fine.
I'll save this for today. Actually, I'll share my screen so you see what I'm doing. Where's that Dropbox? There it is. Yeah, I gotta get to these assignments. You know, I've graded everything that I physically have. I guess I was gonna maybe scan them if you want them back and put them in your Dropbox.
What do you mean, a test you're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't need them.
Well, I have my copies, so
I've graded my copy. I mean,
I don't mind having mine so I can go back to it and know what I got wrong.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a written final. I've always thought about picking the questions that the most people got wrong.
God, I hope not.
All right, Koa, here's your voice. So, if I quit and restart GarageBand, I can get rid of this thing.
I would.
It's just a graphic glitch.
It'll just take 30 seconds to restart Garageband.
Excuse me. Waiting here. So a lot of times all folks send me these things with things soloed, which is a little unusual.
So,
I never thought about that.
I exported it. So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna mute the mix reference track though, right? You want to just play it, Koa?
If you want, yeah.
I'm gonna turn up my level on the board.
It was already there when I needed it then. I got lost there, I found.
So I'm gonna jump ahead and it's just for a second. Oop.
Way, but it's really how. Well, I can't.
So the first thing, I'm noticing how quiet it plays, Koa.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even coming close to being in the yellow.
Oh, I thought the yellow was not good.
No, yellow is good. Red is not bad.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So you're at 0 dB on your master level, which is where I think you should be. What just that means is, have you written any automation in this?
I did on my other track, the one
Let's do
what you did for Minute Medical, that's what I did for this.
Yeah, you don't have any automation written in this. So I just
But
did
the other one I do.
Okay, well, let's just talk about this one.
Okay.
So, I would just be, start nudging your mix up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's look at Anastasia, the settings.
Well, I can't
Okay.
let go. I listen to the voice inside.
Yeah, this is a pretty low setting for the high shelf, but it's okay. Multi-band.
I'm telling you, it's there for a reason. So listen, don't be blind.
I think your setting is a little low on these. Your threshold, I mean, you're hitting like 8 decibels of compression. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is this expanding when I do that? Like, do you see the?
For us, you just moved it.
Let it go. Well, I can't let it go.
Yeah, I think when she goes into the higher range, the band 3 starts kicking in, and you're hitting like too much compression like that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's squashing it, so I think you should be more up there.
Listen to the
And even band.
inside.
But that
I'm
anyway.
telling you, it's there for a reason. So listen, don't be
bass.
blind.
EQ. How come you cut all the highs?
But there's this hissing sound.
Okay.
I didn't want that in there, but
Okay.
is this another situation where
You have very sensitive ears.
Is that your bass?
No, this is Jerry Byers playing his bass.
Good tone.
Yeah. Um, Interesting. Like to have your hearing tested, Koa. You might be like superhuman.
Okay.
Um,
But is this one of the situations where even if there's like a hissing noise or something,
Let me
the
bypass it.
other sound waves like cancel each other out?
Well, like I don't hear any hiss, honestly, when I bypass the EQ.
It's more like a static sound.
I don't hear it. Um, you know, unless it's in the MP3 coding. Um, I don't hear it. Which isn't to say you don't. But I think the bass needs some highs. So what I would do, unless you hear, the hiss a lot, I would give it a little boost, at least at like 2K. And then if you really want the high pass, bring it in so it comes down. But at least, I got to bring this. See, I like hearing I hear like the frequencies on the higher harmonics of the string now. I don't know if that makes it offensive to you if you hear the hiss when I do that, but try that. I mean, it's hard over the internet.
Yeah.
But then again, and all your levels could come up. I would tweak everything up. But I like the way the bass sounds. I mean, but try that and see. The hiss might be in a frequency that's kind of really unnecessary in the bass.
Yeah, okay.
Like if you were miking a bass amp. Anyway, I'm not sure that there's a lot of useful stuff going on a bass guitar above 8 or 10K.
I guess my concern would be like, would the listener be able to pick it up?
Yeah, I don't, but maybe
No.
my hearing is, I'm just old and I don't hear what you're hearing.
Okay. It's probably me then.
No, I don't know.
I listen to the voice inside. I'm telling you it's there for a reason. So listen, don't be blind.
So anyway, it's not bad. I would have panned the two harmonies a little bit
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
like that. Um,
Voice inside. I'm telling you it's there for a reason.
I don't hear much reverb, even though this is up high. What's going on with
So listen, don't be
Yeah, I
blind.
don't know.
So if we go to I hear a little echo. I think she could have more effects. But if we go to hit the master, select effects, and I'm going to go to reverb. Oh, I see. Your time is like all the way off. You see this?
Yeah.
Super short. I don't know.
And don't let it go.
Yeah,
Well, I can't let go. I listen to the
yeah, so you had a lot of reverb. It's so short, it might have been almost sort of a flanging kind of phasing effect. So I would bring, I'm sorry, yeah, the master level down, bring up the time.
voice inside. I'm telling you, it's there for.
like that.
Okay.
And this will affect all your other tracks too. Let me go back to track.
For reason, so listen, don't be blind.
I think your harmony tracks are louder than your lead too.
It is, yeah.
So that's a little.
Voice inside.
The high harmony really cuts through more than the low, but even that, I think if Anastasia's vocal was a little louder, it would allow the other tracks to come up to start reaching a good level, you know. Whoa, not that much. I turned up my volume of the playback, so it's.
Every little everything when it's always been there of me away, but it's really how I perceive
But that's
it
good.
when it turns a thought into
Piano.
being some.
Yeah, you just have a little bit of this low shelf. I'm sorry, the high pass on that.
Is that not?
No. It's okay. It's not really doing too much. It's so subtle. Generally, when I do a high pass, I want it to like really be a high pass. But there's really very little energy in this going on under 50. But it's okay. I personally liked a little bit more highs in the piano. You know, something like around 2K. Like I hear that attack on the keys a little bit. But it's good. I don't know what your multiband is. Yeah, again. Whoa! You're slamming it, Koa.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't check, I guess.
Yeah, way too. There we go. Get some
Can
time.
I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Is there a generality, that's not even a word, of the EQ, things that you definitely don't want to do? Other than, you know, when you're doing the EQ, you can make it sound the same almost with different waveforms. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell the difference that much.
Yeah, I think you're saying like, well, you can add more clarity by boosting highs or by cutting lows.
That's true, but I mean, like if you took any track and put the screen back on, and if you adjusted one like it was so high, because you couldn't tell it. A lot of times with on the low boost, on the like you move it all around. You take your mouse and you move it all around. You go, well, this is not doing anything. Is it even on? And then you have to move it to see if it's even on. And then you see it's on, and you bring it back. But you can move a lot of these things, and it doesn't seem like it does that much. To me, anyway. Of course, my hearing's so bad. It's just.
Yeah. No, sometimes I think that as well.
You know, I move these things around. I drop them down to the bottom. I move them up, and it doesn't seem like. And then if I was to submit a project like that to you, that you had a grab, you'd be going, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
Well,
in realistic recording time, you're doing what sounds good to your ear. No matter how you get there, what the graph looks like, it's still your ear and hearing. And so, point being, the question I'm asking: is there a general guide on the EQ that you wouldn't want to do?
I'd say it's better to cut than to boost.
Okay.
That's my only general rule.
All right. And when you say cut, just flatten the line out, right?
No.
Well, yeah, yeah, okay.
I don't want to.
No, but
I guess
if
what I'm saying is like in mixing, people tend to always push something up. Um,
yes, that's
but
definitely
it's sometimes the best thing to do is bring other things down.
yes.
And, like the sign of an amateur mix is that the faders are all pushed to the top,
Yeah, no,
because all night they were, you know, when when they didn't hear something, they just kept pushing things up.
that is
You should be
true.
is pulling some things down.
Right.
And same with EQ. I mean, technically, you start getting like problems with the phase and distortion when things are boosted a lot and noise. Um, but you're less likely to get that when you reduce frequencies.
But like I'm saying, if you took like this is over here, the high pass, right? You got
That's the hype.
your
I'm
okay. That's
sorry.
high,
I'm sorry. No, the red one is the high
yeah.
pass.
So if you took the high pass and took it all the way down to the analyzer, I'm just and just just and took another one, took it all the way to the maximum because you thought it sounded good. Would that
Yeah,
distort some? I'm just putting it out there. I mean, you just got
So
weird real
like
because you
steep like that.
yeah, and then we took another one that was,
I don't want to mess with Koa's project too much, but
sorry.
like this is typically how high pass looks on a real mixing board, okay?
okay.
Where it's really, you really want to cut 100% of the frequencies below a certain point. Like like a real mixing board has a dedicated little button on it that'll say high pass. And when you press it, it does this. It's a very steep curve and it'll cut things usually at either 80 or 100. Better mixing boards, you can actually set it, but
I'm just wondering. The point being, you're mixing this EQ by or everything by ear, and everybody's ear is different. And I just wondered if it just got too rat because a lot of times, like on one of my projects I did, I went back and checked the EQ because it's something I learned, and mine was all over the place, so I brought them back down.
yeah, I mean, if you have like a really radical EQ, then something is odd. That you didn't use the right mic, you didn't record it well, um, and you're trying to correct that mistake later on. Um, I don't know. If you show me an example, I can.
Oh, my main example on our stuff that you're doing with the Cool Cast band is the bass, the snare drum, and the bass. That's my two EQ. Your guitar sounds like $1 million. You know, the vocals usually
Um,
our tracks. It's the bass and the snare drum,
okay.
and that's the two EQ. That's what I spend the most time EQing or trying to.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, this is why. In all fairness to the musicians, you can't just stick a microphone on top of a snare drum head 3 inches away and expect it to sound like a snare drum. It's going to sound like a cardboard box, um, because you don't have the snare. I mean, you don't have the shell. I mean, that's what makes a drum sound good. That's why in like good recordings, like I showed you in, um, Superior Drummer, they've got a top, a bottom, and like in the earlier versions, they even put a mic at the vent hole on a snare, which is actually an interesting way to record it.
I agree with you there, but you have if you're a recording engineer, you have what somebody brings you maybe, or what you have in your small studio you're trying to do. And I'm just trying to figure out a way of. I mean, I've learned a whole lot about EQing the snare drum and doing compression and stuff on it.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, in in the snare drum, you have to compensate for the lack of the snare, meaning the metal things that are at the bottom that are really have the snap and the highs. I mean, you get some in the overheads, hopefully, but you know, really in the Cool Cats, we don't even have overheads a lot of the time, and makes you wonder how we're trying to get a good sounding snare drum. Um, but to compensate for that, in a top mic'd snare, you do have to boost it probably at like 4 or 5K.
Yeah. No, I think I've got it down pretty well myself.
And
For this,
then, the other thing to compensate for the lack of resonance of the shell and everything, we were using the Nverb plugin, or actually we found that gated reverb setting. We'll go back to that if you want. Anyway, let me just finish with Koa's here. But so this is good, Koa. You're over compressing on some of the tracks. You need to nudge up these levels.
Always been there just to drive me away, but it's really how
I would nudge these up so oh, sorry.
Into
I forgot to share my screen, didn't I?
good singer. Jesus.
Sorry.
I never realized how good a singer she was.
Yeah, she has a real nice.
to be in something somehow. I just need to learn to be quiet.
So I'm gonna nudge them
and
up.
tell
I'm
of the
starting to
love
hit
that
yellow.
supplies all of the things I can change through.
Here comes our
me.
harmonies.
Well, I can't let go. I listen to the voice inside.
So now I can start nudging stuff up.
I'm telling you it's there for a reason. So listen, don't be blind, and don't let
So
it.
this is good. So now, we're hitting into the yellow, but never red. Okay. Other than that, it's good, Koa.
Okay. You want me to make tweaks?
We do have 2 submissions on the voice if you want.
Yeah. Well, I'll just do it to
Yeah, I don't want to be overwhelmed.
educate myself.
Yeah, why don't you? I think it would be worthwhile for you to just fine tune this.
Okay.
It doesn't, I mean, I think you could do it in 15 minutes, really.
Okay.
Just really pay attention to your levels in the multiband, and you can do it really fast. Like I would set up, just highlight a range like this, where everything's going on,
Mhm.
the harmonies are there. Pull up your multiband, put it in a convenient place, and play the loop.
Voice inside. I'm telling you it's there for a reason. So listen, don't be
I'm
blind,
really not seeing.
and don't
Just tweak
let
them a
it
little bit.
go. Well, I can't let it go.
Then go to your bass, and
I listen to
the plugin will go to the multiband will go to whatever track you're selected.
voice inside.
Kind of got a little sliver.
I'm telling you it's there
Yeah, you have-
for a reason.
So you have no multiband on your bass at all. Okay.
I thought I did.
No.
So
yeah, just work those.
Inside. I'm telling you it's there for a
three.
reason. So listen, don't be blind, and don't let it go.
Low harmony.
Well, I can't let it go. I listen to
Way
the
too much.
voice.
Way too much compression on that. You see how far down it's going?
Yeah.
If
you solo it, you'll really hear that it's getting squashed.
reason. So
Yeah.
listen, don't.
So like every word she says is the same
Is the
level.
same?
Is the same level.
Oh,
Here.
Voice inside. It's there for a reason. So listen, don't
You see
breathe
how
alive.
it starts to come
And
alive when you press it up a little bit?
don't let it go.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
oh, I thought for me, I heard it the opposite.
Okay.
I listen.
But
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
I'll go back and listen.
Yeah, listen for that. See what really sounds better to you.
Okay.
I like having the dynamics in it a little bit.
Is that how it is for like almost everything? Just adding a little bit of something, not too much.
I think, I think these tracks that I'm giving you in this course are fairly well recorded, except for maybe All Right Now, which I didn't have anything to do with. But um, and they're fairly good performers, so I don't think they need a lot of anything for the most part. Um, I think as a rule, in basic acoustic music, where you have guitars and drums and stuff, you shouldn't notice the compression.
Okay.
And in my thinking, the compression is a compensation for something that's close mic'd or recorded direct, where the dynamics are exaggerated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're reestablishing a natural dynamic, not anyway, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, makes
So what
sense.
you're saying when it's recorded direct, obviously it's much cleaner, that you need less compression.
No, I'm saying it's exaggerated, I think. Like if you plug your guitar in, an acoustic guitar, say, or anything, it's going to be the dynamics will be exaggerated than what you would hear if there was an amp sitting 6 or 10 feet away.
Right there. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So
The space is a natural compression. It reduces the dynamic range, the difference between the loud stuff and the quiet stuff. If you
So-
played your guitar and put your ear a foot away from the speaker, it would be exaggerated from what you'd hear at 10 feet.
that's true. So like you're saying that, we get this straight. So if you're doing it direct, you may need more compression or less compression
More.
than you would if you're doing with a speaker. You need less. Okay, compression, that helps a lot.
Well,
Well, I mean, it's all up to a lot of different things. But
I'm just saying things. I didn't say that though. I didn't say direct. A speaker at like across the room where if you were actually hearing it the way it would sound. Having a microphone 3 inches away from a speaker cone is not how it's supposed to sound in a room. I mean, yeah, I'm talking about guitar amps. Distortion, on the other hand, has a natural compression built into it. Either by the tubes or a pedal or whatever. So you generally don't need to compress distorted guitars as much. Anyways, moving on. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. I'm talking so much. Anything else you want to do with yours, Koa?
I know that's it. Just
Yeah, no.
the rest of the stuff.
I think if you tune those things and pay attention, I think you'll get something out of it.
Okay.
I'm not going to save any of this. Um, okay. Where, anything else you'd like to talk about?
Whatever you want to do with Brown Eye Girl.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at that this morning. We started it. I mean, this has some tricky edits. Should we look at that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to make a note in the video, I don't know where we are in it.
11:02.
Hmm?
Well, we're time-wise are 11:02.
Yeah. Okay. So like we're maybe 2 hours into this. Okay, let me open it. I was looking at this morning, and Brooke wanted to work on her part, which I don't think is bad, really. She thought it was out of time and things, but oh, sorry, I forgot to share. Um, all right, where are we? I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Get some to drink.
Yeah, actually, let me take 5 minutes, okay? Is that all right? It's
Yeah. Yep.
11:03. Let me keep till 10 after, okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. Undo my mic.
Where did Anastasia move to Oregon?
And I can't hear without my headphones.
Where did Anastasia move to Oregon?
Or Washington.
Washington. Man, she's a good singer. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, really, really on it.
Yeah, no, her intonation is perfect, and
Makes it nice to work with somebody like that.
mhm. Brooke, is there anything you want to do today?
Maybe Brown Eyed Girl.
Okay. That's what we're going to do then.
Because I was having a hard time trying to match the singing, the words with the rest of the group. Because I felt like my timing was just a little off.
Okay. I'll do that. There's other stuff that I think is more important, but I can appreciate your concern for that. So I'll do that. Let's do that, Brooke. I know you've mentioned it a couple times. I'll wait for Ed. Are you there now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. This is still there. So I wish there was a way to just hide tracks in GarageBand. Like you can do that in Digital Performer, not have to take up your screen with stuff you don't need. So here's what we're gonna do, Brooke. We're gonna line you up with the group. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sharing my screen, am I? Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay. So we're going to do the same thing that we did with the cowbell and Missy, but we're going to do it with your voice. Oh, actually, you are lined up here. So let's just try it with the backing vocals for now. So let's really zoom in here. Actually, I'm not sure we need the drums yet. So we're just gonna solo Brooke and the backing vocals. Let's zoom in. We're just gonna deal with timing now, okay? Um, okay. I'm gonna zoom in more. So I think, Brooke, you're a little late here. You're a little behind, especially at the end.
Right, yeah.
Let's see. Brooke, can you hear that or do you see it? or both?
I'm mostly following the visuals of the track, the waveform,
Okay.
and then looking at where they line up. So
Yeah.
I'm just basically looking at the visuals of how mine matches with the group's track.
Okay. So we're gonna really hack this up. So this might be a good time to, make a backup. Okay. So let's do a safety track. Um,
Okay.
I'm going to put this at the beginning of that, and can we drag over this? I'm going to copy these. Track, new track, duplicate settings. Can I just paste this now, all three regions? Let's see, I forget. Good. So now I have a duplicate, even though there's multiple regions, I dragged over them. So let's just put this one away at the top and mute it, and I'll shut it off. This is a backup if I really mess things up. Whoa. That's the first one, right? Oh, this is not right. See how this is, it's not lined up with that. That's not good.
Yeah, I see that.
Wow. I wonder why.
You have your wiper all the way back.
Maybe not.
I was basically trying to get the waveform of the voices to match with.
Yeah. Let's try another approach. I'm going to let's split the back end first. That way, I shouldn't have tried to move them all together. Am I in the first one here? Yeah. Am I? Shoot. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to split this here. Split this. Duplicate track. Copy. See, I know it'll paste in the same place because of the way I did it now. And I know this will go the same place now too. Copy. Paste. And we'll shut the original one off or just mute it. Let's try this again. Yeah, oops. I think Brooke is getting a little late. I think it's just here, it gets a little late. Yeah, we have to really zoom in here. This is hard. I wish we could make this bigger. Wow, this is hard.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we can move the whole thing first. A moment. I think the last two are a little. I'm gonna.
Well, she's going la la, and everybody else is going la.
Oh, is that it? No, 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 that's right,
Okay.
isn't it? Let me slowly.
She's going la la la.
In
Yeah.
the beginning, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's slightly different part, Brooke.
Well, if, as long as she ends on her last la, which she can with everybody else,
I think so too. Oh, sorry.
first part won't matter.
I'm gonna make a little room to move this up. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, and you, Brooke, you missed that the last couple laws, but at least you're in time with the ones you did. And this, let's bring this whole thing up a lot. Let me see how this sounds. Even more. Let's see how we are.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, let's split it a little more. But this is the idea.
Okay.
Make a little room, move that up. There you go. You know, so is this working, Brooke, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway,
Thank you.
you know, the thing is, if you have a la and you have a t and you have a da, you can slice this up and push them around wherever you want and create the part that wasn't there. You know, just like we fixed the bass notes.
Yep, got it.
Yeah. So I don't want to take the time to do the whole thing here. I'll finish it and get it close. But if you want to really like get into it, but that's how I do it. I would like just find some laws and T's and das, and you could recreate it if you want to match it exactly. But you know, I don't even know if they sang it right either. I mean, let's see if we have somebody who's off too. A few laws and T's are off. Yeah, they're singing different stuff too.
Okay.
I'll continue. But you know, here we can see, let's listen. I'll kick this around just a little bit if you want. I'm just going to do Command T's here. Um, um, hmm, just bring it up. Yeah, just a couple are off in there. Um, but anyway, I'm not going to. You have a couple extra ones. But anyway, this is the idea if you want to try and put it together. It's pretty tedious, but you can do that.
Joe,
Yeah.
on Brown Eye Girl, have you decided what our assignment is on it yet?
Yeah.
Okay,
Didn't I put it in?
I didn't see it. Did anybody else see it?
Oh,
I think so.
I didn't. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to get to it this week. I'll get to it next week.
Everyone's disoriented.
I mean, I may. I mean, I'd like to have it if I do get to it, because I'm working all right now. Try to get that to you. Brown Eye Girl is going to take some work on my part. Depending on the assignment that you give us is how much time it's going to take.
Hang on, let me share my.
There's a lot of.
You see my La Lima here?
Yeah.
I thought this was up. It says the assignment is to make a good mix of the songs, starting with channel setup and EQ with the 2-band multiband.
Is this Brown Eye Girl?
Yeah. Yeah. It's in assignments. Assignments. And here's what I'm saying. The break section that begins at measure 7 would need some fixing. The length of the break to the next verse is actually correct. Listen to the Van Morrison original. The break begins with 2 measures of a variation of the intro guitar riff, followed by 2 measures of bass pedaling on a G note. The bass plays 4 measures of the basic verse pattern, G, C, G, D, and then the verse comes in. That's supposed to be verse. The challenge here is to assemble this using parts we have in other places. For the bass solo, I used the 4 bars starting at measure 36. For the guitar riff, I used the last 2 measures of the intro. Okay?
Got it.
Yep.
So are you not seeing that?
Oh, talking to me?
I'm talking to anyone.
Oh, well, let me look actually.
Let me just check my.
No, I'll check in assignments. I just don't worry about it. I just want to make sure it was there.
Yeah, Brown Eyed Girl was opened on April 9th. I've set the due date to May 8th, 2020 at 3:35 p.m.
Oh, no, I see it on my screen.
You don't?
I do.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Just confirm it. Good. Moving on.
Moving on. Let me see where I am with that. I think I did that already. This is tricky. May not be as tricky as the cowbell. Brooks, we got, let's, whoa, sorry. I'll just move these a little bit. I'm going to slice these a little bit. Command T. That's good for timing.
So the black spaces, you just leave them like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a vocal, you can. I mean, it should be silent anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you really only need this stuff where the singing is. A lot of times on a song, I'll clean up the vocal if there's, bleed on it.
No, I just want to make sure we submit it and have black spaces in there. That's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have the ending, do we? So,
Yeah, I put the guitar in there.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
well, we don't have Brooke, do we?
Oh, I thought we can copy and paste.
Oh, I'm sorry. I never copied this, did I? So let's get our backup copy into this track. I'm going to highlight it. I already have an out point. Split it, count, split regions at Playhead. We're going to copy. Highlight the new track, paste. So there's our good copy. Let's listen. Oops. Just a little late again. Little late. I'm not going to spend more time on this. If anyone wants to do it, like I said, you can slice it up and push it around. But I don't think we'll learn more about me. It's going to take a while, but it could be done.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't mind,
Sure, thanks.
but I think Brooke's voice adds a nice high frequency to the whole thing. Even if it's, whatever, not totally locked in. It's good.
Just, gotta slice it up like how you said.
Yeah, so anyway, this is tedious work.
It does add a great high frequency to it.
But if anyone wants to take the time to do it, go for it. Some of these are missing, like in there. You could just find one good one. I mean, I think the group was pretty consistent. You know what I'm saying? The double tracking. So I think if you just made one good Brooke, you could paste it over the other ones and you wouldn't have to do so much work.
Yeah.
Because this is in time. In fact, we could possibly take the one we fixed from the beginning. But anyway, these are just some shortcuts. The truth is you only need one good one.
Could you take two at the same time and paste them? You just can only do one track at a time, I assume. Like if you had one of Brooke and the group together that are that are good, you could paste both of them at the same time.
Um,
You follow what I'm saying?
I think so.
Like say
So
the
let's
first
say,
one you did is good, as you worked on.
I don't know if there's a shortcut to let you select multiple tracks. Let me do this. So let's say we get the first one that's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll line it up with the beginning of Brook. We'll Command T these. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to put it right before the beginning of the next one. We'll Command T these. This is how I think you could do it. I'm trying to find a shortcut to do this. There we go. If you hold down the Shift key, you can
Right.
select multiple regions and different tracks. I would copy these, edit copy. I'm pretty much lined up here. Let me see what happens if I do a paste here. Yeah, so that's how to do it. Get one good one. But let me undo that. I would just make sure, Jim, so this is another case where you want to make sure you're locked to grid and locked to time. In fact, I
Okay.
didn't do that right. I would make sure my selection began on beat 1 of a measure. I didn't do this correctly. But if, like here, I'm at 104. This is better. Let me split regions. This is how I do it. And now I would copy them, and guaranteed, if this is right, if you do your paste at, is that right? Yeah, I believe this is right. Is that right? I don't know what I did.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm going to undo all this.
But that's how you would do 3 tracks at once.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
See,
But again, this is real common to do, like to just paste the backing vocals from one good chorus. People do this all the time.
Okay.
so can you go through those steps one more time, real quick? I'm gonna put down a time thing.
We used to sing.
Okay. So what you want to do is, separate the part you want. And I would try and do it on, you can start on beat 2 or beat 1, but it's, in this case, we have enough room to work off beat 1. So I'm at 104.1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and I've split these and beat 1 of the measure.
Split the Playhead, right?
Yeah, split it playhead of, and again, we're grouping these 3 tracks. Brooke and our doubles of the group.
Do you have to highlight those to group them?
No,
How do you group them then?
mean to select them together,
Yeah.
the shift key. So now we're going to split. Here I'm holding Brooke. I'm going to, darn it, it won't do it now. Oh, I see. I can't select the tracks, but I can select the regions.
So you
Okay.
have to select region somewhere.
I'm clicking in the region, not the track.
No, you don't have to go back up to the top and say select region.
I don't know where that is. Is
Under
that,
edit at the Garageband, select region. Okay.
where do you
So
see that?
you're selecting region by just clicking onto the track.
Where do you
See-
see select region?
I was thinking of select region in Playhead. I'm just trying to get down exactly what you're doing. So then you're moving the
Yeah. I'm in here. I'm going to select, these are split on beat 1, right? Of the
Right.
measure.
So you're
I'm
going
gonna
to
I'm
click.
going to
click on-
select the top one.
Mhm.
I'm holding down the shift key now,
Okay.
and it will, shift will let you select
With the mouse,
regions from
clicking on
multiple tracks.
with the shift key, you're selecting those with the mouse, right?
Yeah, by clicking on them. So now I'm going to split them. Okay. So now I'm going to copy them.
But you're on beat 4, yeah. I thought we were going to beat 1.
But wait, hang on, stay with me.
Okay.
We're going to copy them. And now we want to be at measure 108, beat 1. And if we paste these, the paste should have taken place at 108, beat 1. So they have the exact same time placement now
Okay.
as they did where we took them from.
So since this is done with a click track, right?
Yeah,
We should be able to take that section right there and put it anywhere we want, right?
yeah. Like here, Brooke is missing this whole part. But if we go to 112, Command V, we just put it there.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool.
In fact, and you know, we can do this. Oops. Anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just working with the ending now. But yeah, we could do this. We should be able to put it at measure 66 is the beginning of 1, right? Command V. Yeah, so now. Oh, I cut out some stuff here. But anyway, I'm going to undo that. That's the idea. Okay?
Yep, great.
Yep.
What did we do with the, let me look at the guitar.
Okay, remember on this that after the bass solo, I started doing different things that you probably want to get rid of.
On the riff track.
Yeah, I was trying different things.
All right, well, a lot to do.
The guitar part before the breakdown is pretty identical. The part after that was just some experimentation I was trying to do.
Okay.
See how it fit. So you might want to take the first part and put it to after the break. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
so there's a lot of this editing in this, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna run out of time in a minute, and I have to do a Zoom session with the college for like a job hiring thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't. So if I'll make a video if you like of me doing some of this,
Any video you can make to get
Yeah.
would
but
help.
I mean, I've actually already done some of this in a video, but it might be like it could be hidden away in some 3-hour Zoom thing we did.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But so listen, the way I'll do it is it's going to take, this is a little tedious. And I don't want to edit. I may do some stuff, you know, part of it is trying things that don't work. And there might be some value in you seeing how I make decisions that, oh, that's not good. So I'm just going to record the whole thing, okay?
Okay.
Right.
It's too much time for me to go. If I have a big wasted section, I may go into iMovie or something and cut out parts that I think are useless. So I may do that. Okay? Let me see how that goes. But
Yeah.
I'll try and get to that in the next couple days. But I'm
Is
not
next week the last class?
Yeah, yes.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Wait, let me get out of here. Technically, I actually think the last day of instruction is Thursday.
Oh. So there's Zoom on Thursday?
No, I'm just saying technically our class wouldn't be happening. But I'll meet if you all want to.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't mind.
Sorry. Yeah, let me put that up. If you're missing assignments, I haven't graded ones that have been submitted in the Dropbox yet, but you know, make sure you've got your stuff in, because I'm going to be really slammed during the grading period.
Okay.
Okay. I'll definitely be putting one into the Dropbox every time
Okay.
Yeah.
because I can't figure out the Lima thing submission.
Well, yeah, some of them are closed now, I think. Lima really makes it difficult to change a due date after it's happened.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm losing my voice here.
Just take off early so you can get hired for your next class.
No, it's not me. They're hiring someone else.
Oh.
But I got tested yesterday. I think I put something up for
Test what?
the virus.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
you went to 2 cars there. Takes you
Yeah,
2 weeks to get the results.
yeah, it's pointless. Pointless.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I had the virus, I'd be out for 2 weeks infecting people, and if I don't have it, by the time I got my results, I could have been infected. So either way,
Right.
it's pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday I put up. There was one more today, but there's 27 active classes and nobody's died since the 21st. It's pretty good. I mean, I don't want anybody to die, but I'm just saying
Yeah. Oh,
that
that's good to know.
compared to the rest of the country, because I really keep track of this stuff.
Yeah.
Anal like that.
Do you? I should have you talk to my son.
Maui's pretty good. Well, your son's going to do what he's going to do, just like all other young people. Sorry about young people out there. Derogatory.
Nah, that's cool.
I just, I think a lot of stuff's going to open here before long. Whether it should or not, I don't know. But
Yeah.
Well, the beach is open today, some of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
See, none of this really affects me because I sit at home at computer most of the time anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'll put this video up soon. Okay,
Okay.
everyone have a good week.
Thanks.
Okay.
Um, feel
Thank you.
free to contact me during the week if you need anything.
All right.
Stay
Sounds
safe,
good.
everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, interpreters. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.